I'm Timothy Cunningham. I work out of Greenville, South Carolina. Oh, I was born in Winsboro, South Carolina, 1983. And I was raised there in Great Falls, South Carolina, man. Small town. One stoplight, one Piggly Wiggly, and a bright future. My father was an artist. He was a watercolor painter. He would paint landscapes mostly. Truly inspiring as a young man, watching him do his thing. So I started tracing. That's the first thing I started doing. The lowrider magazines. I started tracing the lowriders, and then taking my tracing and doing my thing on top of that. And that's what made me an artist, not the tracing. The doing my thing on top of the tracing made me an artist. I started as a sketcher, and then I grew into a painter. I'm a fine artist. I'm a visual artist. So I do paintings, canvas paintings, murals. But that's a good question, because I have now graduated into 3D art as a professional, not as a student no more. So I'm starting with 3D wall hanging pieces before I get into standalone pieces. I work out of Greenville, South Carolina. I have a studio right here in the heart of Greenville, and sold all my other public studios. So I have a home studio here in Greenville, and I do my annual showcase right here in downtown Greenville. It is finding freedom to do this thing the way I want to do it, instead of the way that all these big showcases that I was a part of wanted me to do it, the way museums and galleries wanted me to do it, because they do have the audacity to tell you exactly what they want you to do. And that ain't being an artist at all, whatsoever of the definition. So my biggest struggle was overcoming that. And how did I do it? Creating my own foundation, creating my own showcases. And once I got used to doing that, that was it. That was true freedom. So that was my biggest obstacle, and it felt amazing. And today I have obstacles, but that was the biggest one. Think about it. How productive are you when somebody's telling you how to do it? And then how productive are you when you could do it the way you want to do it? So that's the way it helped me. So the things I choose to paint, the stories I choose to tell, that's the way it helped me. Having my own environment to do these things in, there's no boundaries. So now there's no cap. So that's the way it helped. Man, you're a reporter. You're a journalist. Like it or not. You exist right now, and right now in today's time. Whoever existed 10,000 years ago, they painted too. They did artwork also, and it was about what was going on in their area. I don't care if it's buffaloes on a cave wall. That's what he was looking at. That's what he had going on, right? I paint and I choose to do 3D art the way to preserve the history in my time. We all might get 100 years. We all might get 100. In that 100 years, what was going on, right? You're gonna see it through every artist's artwork and music and plays. They can only write what's going on. And if you're a sci-fi artist, you can only speculate on what's gonna happen. You can always paint history on what did happen. But you are a journalist if you're an artist. You're recording something on a surface. You're a journalist. Aggravated, disappointed, discontent, happiness, euphoria, and then joy at the end. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's a whole, so when people look at your work, nothing that I did just came out of easiness, right? Even when I paint live at a gala, that 1 hour or that 30-minute of crammed in emotion, I'm sweating. Like, why am I sweating? This is something I do every day. I'm sweating because now I'm cramming it down to 30 minutes. So when you give me a week or a month to create a piece, every time I step in front of that piece, I feel all those emotions that I just said. And then every time I don't work on that piece and I walk past it to go to a meeting or to go somewhere else, I feel those emotions. And I feel like it's incomplete, like it needs my help, like it needs my attention. And I feel that way when I'm working on it with my brushes. I feel like every piece of it needs my attention, and that it ain't getting enough, and that it's not gonna come out the way I thought it was gonna come out. But as soon as I get about 3/4 of the way through, that's like the promised land. And I already know where it's going, and all I gotta do is ride it out from that point. It's the freedom. You know, I worked other jobs. I was a mechanic for a long time, And then I was an engineer for a short time, for just like 6 years. The freedom don't exist in those worlds. There's literally a handbook on how to do those jobs. And if you deviate, you're not welcome to that job no more. And that don't exist in the art world. There's no handbook. And when you see my artwork and you step into my world, and there's no rules. You get to experience all Timothy and everything, all of my research and all my emotions, and you get to experience it right there. That's my favorite part. Currently, I like to do preservation of history. I started my current show, Greenville Through A Lens, doing Greenville, South Carolina's Black history. And it quickly, after 3 years, exploded into South Carolina's diaspora. So I wanna cover these things and preserve them into a book eventually called Greenville Through A Lens. But for now, preserving them into murals and canvas work, making sure that we document them and photograph them for the book later. But right now, I'm just very interested in having charrettes with the elders and sitting down and talking with the community and getting the facts right. And I'm just real interested in the did you know kind of information. Like, did you know? Like, did you know that elementary school exists because of this dude and what he did in the community? Like, I'm interested in that stuff right now. And that's gonna change. It won't be forever. It can't be forever. If it was forever, then that would be a businessman decision out of me. It won't be that way forever because I'm an artist. I'm not the kind of artist that wake up and do something different every day. I'm the kind of artist that has one piece on the easel because I'm a Virgo. It stresses me out to have 6 canvases going at once. I don't do that. I start one and I finish one. I have never started a second piece. I've never done that. So right now I'm just interested in doing historical preservation type artwork. And I like to give the opportunity to other artists to try the same, to try it out. Even if they've never done that topic, join my show, try that out. Let's see how that goes. And either way, we're gonna benefit this community. And that's what I like to do right now. I was the youngest, skinny, aggravating. I was annoying, energetic, so I was one of them kids. So I remember not being accepted, is what I remember. I remember being bullied a little bit by my older brothers, but today I wouldn't say hardcore bullying. I would just say they took over, right? They were older. So I remember that going into my artwork. I remember wanting to be heard. I repeat myself a lot all the way to this day. I'll say sentences twice just because I thought you didn't get it. And that's part of me being the youngest. That's my syndromes. And that goes into my artwork. I want it to be seen. I don't paint it for no reason. When I paint something, I felt it. I feel it. And I'm proud of it. I put it all over the internet. That's my refrigerator door. I tell everybody, I text people pictures of my work. I want you to see it. I ain't painting for no reason. I want to be seen. And that's me growing up as the youngest. Well, one key thing is I don't know what I'm going to be painting next year. I don't know. So I don't plan out my whole career. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be on the cover of that. I'm going to be showcasing here. Maybe I should, but I stay thirsty by staying creative instead of getting too far into the business, because I'm an entrepreneur, studio owner, foundation, executive director, and all that. I try not to get too caught up into that, which hurts me too. So it's a big old balance between business and art. Everybody knows that about being an artist. I just think a key part of my career and longevity and staying relative in the community is that I really care about what I'm doing. I'm not trying to make another dollar. Being an artist is a part of who I am, and I'll never stop. But also, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I don't know what type of artwork I'm gonna get into next. I don't keep it the same. I get bored with the same type of paintings, with the same type of art show. The same haircut, same clothes, I get bored. So I switch that up, and that keeps me thirsty. It keeps me interested.
Are meaningful to you?
2 things. I work out a lot. I don't care what kind. It could be yoga. It could be lifting, running, walking, whatever. I work out a lot. It keeps me who I am as a person, right? And then I tinker a lot. I'm a handyman. So if I can find something around the house that's been getting on my nerves, or around my studio that's been getting on my nerves, I go to Home Depot, get everything I need, go on Amazon, get everything I need, and I make that a project. So if I've been meaning to lay some pavers around my studio, if I've been meaning to fix that broken tripod. I'll go get all my tools and everything I need to take that thing all the way apart and fix it. That is therapeutic to me. If I've been meaning to do something to my vehicles, I'll schedule a day on my calendar to go do that. And I go all the way in. I get my 6-pack of beer, I get all my tools, and I tell everybody where I'm about to be for the next 2 days, and I go tear that vehicle apart and I do it. That I have to have that. Even if it's just cutting grass, that's okay. But I gotta be able to take something apart and put it back together, or I wouldn't be as good of a person as I am, not just an artist. I would be aggravated more often. So I gotta be able to work with my hands. Boom, one take, baby.